In 1940, as the clouds of war gathered over Europe and the Pacific, the United States Army realized it had a problem. It didn't have a light, fast, all-purpose vehicle that could go anywhere, carry anything, and survive the worst conditions. What it needed was a miracle on wheels. And within just 49 days, it would get one. The Army sent out a challenge to American car companies: design and deliver a prototype all-wheel drive reconnaissance vehicle that was lightweight, durable, and could carry both men and gear across rough terrain. Only 2 companies responded in time: Bantam and Willys Overland. Bantam had submitted the first prototype, but they were a small company, too small to meet the massive production demands of war. So the Army handed their design to Willys, and later Ford, to refine, mass-produce, and standardize. The result would become one of the most iconic vehicles in military history. It was small, nimble, and tough. Powered by a 60-horsepower Go Devil engine, it could haul 4 people, tow light artillery, ford streams, climb hills, and bounce across mine-ridden battlefields. It had no armor, no doors, and no luxuries, just raw utility. And the name, nobody's entirely sure how it came about. Some say it came from the slurred initials GP, for general purpose. Others say it was inspired by a Popeye cartoon character named Eugene the Jeep, known for being small, versatile, and capable of doing the impossible. Whatever the truth was, the name stuck. It was simply the Jeep. By 1941, Willys had finalized the MB model, and production ramped up. Willys and Ford together would build over 640,000 Jeeps during the war. They were shipped to every front: North Africa, Europe, the Pacific, and even the Soviet Union, through a Lend-Lease. And once it hit the field, soldiers fell in love with it. The Jeep could do it all. It served as a scout car, ambulance, machine gun platform, mobile command post, supply runner, even a field telephone line layer. If it had wheels, it could be adapted. And if it broke, mechanics could fix it in minutes with basic tools. But it was more than just a utility vehicle. It became a symbol. A rugged, humble, unstoppable little machine that carried the war on its back. It was as American as the M1 Garand or the Sherman tank. When American forces landed in North Africa in 1942, it wasn't tanks that led the way across the desert, it was Jeeps. Light, quick, and dependable, the Jeep became the eyes and ears of Allied armies. It scouted ahead of infantry. It carried ammunition to the front, it evacuated the wounded. And when night fell, its headlights were blacked out and it rolled silently behind enemy lines. Across the war, the Jeep was everywhere. In the blazing heat of Tunisia, it carried General Patton on inspections. In the snows of Bastogne, it hauled supplies to freezing Allied soldiers. On the beaches of Normandy, it rolled off landing craft and straight into combat. It could be loaded into gliders, slung under bombers, even parachuted from cargo planes. The Jeep didn't just survive war, it thrived in it. Field modifications were endless. Troops mounted machine guns, radios, stretchers, and even rocket launchers on it. The British SAS stripped them down and used them for lightning-fast desert raids against German airfields. In the Pacific, Marines used them to move men through jungle, mud, and coral paths. The Jeep's reputation was unmatched. Soldiers trusted it. Enemy forces feared its mobility. And generals depended on it like no other vehicle. By 1945, the war was ending, but the Jeep wasn't done. It became a symbol of victory. In liberated cities, crowds cheered as Jeeps rolled by draped in flags. In post-war Europe, it remained in use for years. And back in the US, it laid the foundation for a new generation of civilian off-road vehicles. The Willys CJ civilian Jeep became the forerunner of the modern SUV. But through all the fame and post-war nostalgia, veterans never forgot what the Jeep meant in wartime. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't armored, it didn't fire a single shot. But it was always there. In the mud. In the fire. In the final push toward Berlin and Tokyo. A little vehicle with no doors and no fear. The Jeep didn't win the war on its own, but try imagining victory without it.